I wanted to answer a few FAQs around spice storage. They're questions that I get a lot. Chiefly about these dabbas, or these tins, and you know, basically their efficacy at sort of storing spice well. So I guess I just start by saying that most homes in India would have at least one. This is a little excessive, but you know, I can be a little excessive about this sort of stuff. So essentially what happens is these get stored like this, the lid closes. There's no layer, there's no lid that goes on individually. And one of the big questions I get asked is, do they aromatically interfere with each other? Because essentially they're being compressed into one space and then closed. And the answer to that is yes, a little bit, they do. But also I think in the end, masala or spice is always about blending. So I'm not too worried if there's a little bit of like aromatic contamination that occurs. Really what I'm looking to the dabba for is small portions of spice. So this is a very small portion, and once it's used, I replace it. So I'm refreshing my spices constantly, which is really important when it comes to the quality of your food, that the quality of your spice is also high. Think of spice the way you think about produce, and the end result of your cooking will be a lot better. So this helps me to keep an eye on the freshness. It helps me to store them away from light. It's also how I cook, and so there's an immense pleasure in being able to visually see, you know, the majority of the spices that I'm working with at any one time, and then using this as like a painter's palette to cook. It makes it takes away the effort and the searching through drawers or through cupboards or opening little plastic elastic band wrap packets of spice. They're a relatively inexpensive permanent storage solution for spices, and just a really beautiful way to be able to access and visually to see, you know, kind of what you're working with. They come empty, so there's no spices in them. You get the little spoon and the 7 containers, and they're accessible from Indian grocers or Asian grocers, and sometimes from specialty delis. You can also buy them through me, so feel free to be in touch via my links, like there's email on the website or direct message, or however you want to do it. So these get stored like this and stacked, so it makes it really easy. And I pop them over. I have a little hutch in my kitchen, and I just pop them into that hutch, and then whenever I want to cook, I get them all out, and I can kind of play around. I have 42 spices here, but there's more in my packets that are maybe on a less high use rotation. But this way of storing, the masala dabba, is a really effective, beautiful and accessible way to store spice that makes cooking kind of a pleasure instead of a grinding search for the right aromatic combination just at the time that you need it. So.